So the Garmin S42 is the mid-range, mid-price alternative to more expensive options like the S62 and the S70. Now this watch isn't going to suit everybody, but there is a cohort of golfers that will absolutely love the S42. Now starting off with the size and the dimensions, this one's got a 1.2mm touchscreen and it's a good bit smaller than the S62. It's also a lot lighter, and this one's going to suit a smaller wrist size. So maybe female players are going to really like the S42, juniors and male players with a smaller wrist size. It also comes in three colors, so it comes in white, it comes in rose gold, and it comes in black. So the white and rose gold are going to be aimed at the female players, and the black is going to be aimed at male players and juniors. So talking about features, what do we get with the S42? We get distances to the front, middle and the back of the green as standard. We get 42,000 courses worldwide, and they load up within a minute of arriving at the course via the satellites. We get distances to various different layup options on each hole, as well as all the hazards that are on that hole. And we also get advanced stat tracking with the S42, just like we do with the rest of the watches, to be fair. And that's going to track basically your fairways in regulation, whether you miss to the left or miss to the right, your greens in regulation, and your putts and stuff like that. This one has also got the club prompt, which the S12 doesn't have. So when this is turned on and you hit the ball, it's going to ask you what club you used. And then when you take your next swing for your second shot, it's going to track the distance between the second and the first shot. And then it's going to plot it out on a map, which you can go onto the Garmin Golf app afterwards on your mobile or on your laptop, and you can deep dive into the data. So that's really handy and probably the main selling point of the S42. Obviously, we've also got the digital scorecard and the color touchscreen, but the interface is slightly more complicated than the S62 and the S70, or even the S12 for that matter, because there's only one button on the side. And when we look at the S70, we can see that there's 3 buttons on the side, which is the same as the S62, and then the S12 has 2 buttons either side. So to turn on the advanced tracking and the club prompt, you actually have to press down on the power button, and that's going to bring you into a new menu that I couldn't find for quite some time. And with the S70 and the S62, you're scrolling using the bottom 2 buttons, but this one, it's on the screen, and you can scroll through your various different options just tapping on the screen like this. So it's not as intuitive, not as easy to use, and the watch face is a little bit smaller as well, so it's harder to see the data. That being said, it's also less distracting than something like the S70 with the amazing AMOLED screen that just constantly calls you to check various different things on the watch, even when you don't need to. And if you're getting on the course to get away from the technology, that's not what you want to be doing. You don't want to be playing around with the S70 for the full time that you're playing your round. So when we're talking about the S12 versus the S42, this one comes in at $200, this one comes in at $250, and the extra that you're getting is the color touchscreen and the club prompt feature, which is really handy. If you're a mid to low handicapper, you're going to want to use that so you can deep dive into your data and see exactly what happened on your round afterwards. Now the big thing that's missing from the S42 is the course overview. So when I'm playing a hole with the S62 or the S70, I can see an overview of the hole, and I can click in and get a pinpoint distance to any position on the hole, and I can get the position, or I can get the distance to that position, and then the remaining distance to the pin from that position as well. That's missing on the S42, and it's a feature that you probably are going to want to have if you're playing a lot of golf, especially on new courses. Because if you're on a dog leg, this might say the green is 250 yards away, but you know, you got to hit it 200 yards this way first, and then 140 yards, you know, to the right. So it's not going to give you the full picture, whereas you are going to get that with the S62 and the S70. What else is missing from the more premium models? Well, you don't get the heart rate monitor, and this does advertise itself as a watch for all the time. So, you know, a heart rate monitor would be a good feature to have on this. Now, this does look very stylish, and that's why maybe it can be considered as more of a feminine watch, because it's all to do about the style, and you've got the quick change bands here as well, so you can change the look and feel anytime that you want to. So who should buy the S42? And it's that mid to low handicapper really that, you know, if you want to get a bargain or you don't want to splash out the full amount to get the S62 or the S70, the S42 is going to be a good option. And if you already have the S12 but you want to get that club prompt feature, to get the rich data in the Garmin Golf app, then the S42 is the way to go. Obviously female players, juniors and those with smaller wrists, this one is obviously going to be the best option but you've also got the S70 now in the smaller size as well to suit female players, juniors, and those with smaller wrists. This is an excellent option for anyone on a budget. I would suggest, if you had the extra budget, that this watch is going to give you a good bit more, especially if you're an advanced player. You want to get that advanced tracking and you want to get the whole overviews and everything like that. The S62 or the S70 is going to be a better option. This watch, it's a bit too small for my wrist, and that's why, you know, it's not my favorite one. It's probably one that I wouldn't ever pick up between these three. I'd use this because it's fast and effective. I probably wouldn't use this one either because it's a little bit heavy and distracting. That's the S62. I'd definitely be reaching for the S70. It's got an amazing screen, it's got unbeatable features, and you know, pinpointing any position on the hole is really a rich feature that puts this, you know, head and shoulders above the S42. So the S42, if I had a smaller wrist size, I probably would use it. You know, it's similar. You're probably going to get more out of the S12 with the CT10 sensors. It's faster, it's more effective, better battery life, and less distracting on the course. So the S42, it's good for what it does. Wouldn't be my favorite. You know, if you can pick it up for $200, it's a good bargain. And you know, if you're a female player that's looking for a good value golf watch, this is an excellent option. You know, no other brand is going to come close to even the Garmin S42 in my opinion. You know, this is fast, effective, it performs really well, and some of the other brands really struggle to keep up with the performance of the Garmin watches.